Hey everybody, how we doing? Um, Here's another long-awaited artist that we've been talking about that we've had on for a little while on
Radar
our
wise,
radar,
yeah,
and that's Jason Flowers. And those of you that have watched Tags, you've seen him on there, and anyone that's been following any of the Last Ronin stuff,
yeah.
you'll see his artwork there. So, Jason, tell us about yourself.
Um, hey everyone. uh, nice to meet you. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for coming on. We
So
appreciate it.
yeah, I'm super excited to be on here. I've been making comics for a very long time, and I'm glad it's finally getting some notice, mainly because of my turtle stuff. So
Yeah, that turtle stuff
I'm
was amazing.
thank you, thank you. Yeah. So pretty much, I've been making comics and going to shows and setting up. I've been doing it full time for like the last 10 years.
Uh-huh.
Oh wow.
Knock on wood. It stays that way. Yeah, I used to work retail before that, and I would just do the comic stuff when I can, and do conventions on the side. And I had an opportunity to kind of like get out of that and try to make it as a full time artist. And I thankfully it's been going well. So
Well, maybe that's your next big
I've
step out of retail into artist.
I'm not an artist at all. I can appreciate it and work with the ones that do it well, but I'm not an artist by any means. Um, I can, for us who can kind of see it, and for the audience maybe can see it a little bit too, but you kind of have yourself a blue sketch outline there, and you're going to do a sketch for us. What you got going?
So yeah, I know it's very thin. I do this sometimes where if I'm gonna do like a drawing, if I can plan it out in the computer, I'll print it out in blue line
Yep,
Hmm.
very thinly and then go straight into inks. And it's gonna be the Last Ronin. So
that's very cool.
since we've been talking about it, and that's been pretty popular right now for me. So
Yeah, the last Ronin stuff has been awesome for everybody who's done the covers. I'm sure you've had a great response to it. What do you have going on, but no, besides Last Ronin right now? Because I know that series is pretty much wrapped up. It, no, it hasn't dropped yet, the last book, but I'm sure all the art stuff and that is done. What do you have coming up next, or what are you working on next, or is it still top secret stuff, or
well, just real quick, if you guys,
yeah,
I think you can
Yeah,
see it.
we've
There's no
got that one up
glare,
on screen
hopefully.
as well.
yeah, we've put it up on screen.
Yes, that's the first cover art for Last Ronin I got to do. Before that, I got to do a this is with Epicos Comics. They're about an hour from me in Chattanooga,
Okay.
Tennessee. But
Hmm.
that was the first cover we did with them, and it was like a cool little character border, so we could do sketches in the middle of it for issue
I've
99.
I've shown
It was going
you
to be
that
for
one before
100.
Yeah,
with different sketches in it.
yeah, we have that one.
Yeah, it was going to be for 100, but when they found out there were so many covers for 100,
Right.
they didn't want it to get lost.
Yeah.
And we did the cover in such an amount of time that there was still an opening to get it in on number 99.
That's
So
cool.
it actually worked out
It
pretty
actually
well.
stands out better at being 99 compared to the 100.
Right.
So you're saying you did the artwork for like the characters in the border there?
Yes, yes.
Oh,
So the whole border is all
oh, I
me.
didn't realize that. Well, that makes it even more
Yeah,
important
yeah,
to me.
yeah. The funny thing is you can't really see my signature because it got cut off. They originally wanted to cut probably like about another half inch or
Oh
more
no.
Oh.
off. Yeah, and I was like, guys, like, no, 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 no. Like, you have to have at least that much around it. But so we talked him out of it. But yeah, my name got cut off here, and then on the first cover here, um, I wasn't thinking about the way the size is because it's more magazine style
Right.
than 11 by 17,
Yep.
and my name and the colorist's name both got cut off again.
So while
So
I'm thinking wise, what how do you feel about those larger books now? Because like you said, the last Ronin's been that larger size. A lot of the Aftershock has one shots that are the one size. Does it matter to you when you're working on the work, or does it not matter? Like I would think the dimensions would kind of change a little bit. And obviously, you just said that with your signature there. But when it comes to the rest of the artwork, is that much of a difference or no?
well, when I did this one specifically, I really wasn't planning or thinking in terms of that size difference because our cover we were trying to get in, and then we didn't have enough time, or like we missed the deadline or something, and then they extended it, so we had to like pretty much rush last minute to get this cover finished.
Uh-huh.
So I wasn't thinking in terms of like the size of the paper, but the only thing they really had to do was, I think they trimmed a little bit of it, like I said. So there's probably like a half inch down at the bottom here that is supposed to be here, which doesn't really show much of anything. I think it's more like just the water.
Okay.
And so it was okay, but so none of the actual image. But when I have an issue, I have a cover for issue 5
Yep.
coming out. That's a wraparound.
We have
cover.
it up right now, actually. Yeah.
Awesome, thank you. And so that's on my website right now for pre-order. But we had to make sure, I had to kind of make sure the size was accurate, because I did it on 2 11x17s, so I wanted to make sure nothing got cut off, and if it did, it wasn't really anything too particularly important.
Right. No.
With the artwork,
it's been great.
But overall, yeah, it's been pretty fine with not really worrying about that kind of thing.
Now, are you just doing cover work, or are you doing interior art as well too? Or?
No, yeah, well, that's a good segue into my next one. So this is my creator-owned book.
Now, I had questions about that, so I'm glad you brought it up.
Yeah. So I did a couple of different covers. I've got a Jim Lawson variant also for it.
Can people?
He's a bounty hunting
Can
bullfrog.
people still find that book? Is it available?
Yes, it's available on my website.
I think I might be checking that out, because I didn't know you could still get that.
Yeah. So he's trying to get this. He was hired by this group called the Brotherhood of Light to retrieve this stone emblem that these mole ninjas have stolen, to try to resurrect their mole god named Mogaria.
Okay.
And it's just kind of a over-the-top Ninja Turtles heavily inspired comic book.
Oh, I guarantee I'll like it, because I like that stuff, and I'm also really enjoying another independent book lately, Billy the Kid, where the rabbit cowboy that's trained by a samurai goat. Have you seen or heard of that one?
I think I have seen that one. Is it on Kickstarter?
It was on Kickstarter originally, but now it's been released from some small company. I don't remember what. They have 2 or 3 issues out. It's been great, but I'm definitely going to check out that Bounty Bullfrog, because, again, I didn't realize that was you. I've seen it in the past, but it makes me laugh when I do these interviews with these people and we start talking about stuff, how much stuff of their previous catalog I've actually liked and just never realized before. So.
Yeah, it was originally, so this is where it stemmed from. It was originally an idea I came up with when I was like 16.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
And I was like, I got really back into like Ninja Turtles around like middle of high school, and I just was really inspired by Turtles and Lobo with Simon Bisley's artwork. And so those two just really dominated my world at the moment. And I came up with this guy, and
So
back when the pandemic started, I was like, I need to really bring this guy back. So
that copy
that's
you
what's
have
happening.
there, is that one that you made up when you were 16?
Yeah,
Wow.
this was this is the second issue. The second issue is only like 5 pages long, but the first one's probably like 8 or 10.
Oh, so it's an actual issue? It's not just the cover?
No,
Oh,
Like
wow.
I used, back when I was in
awesome.
the beginning of high school, probably around like 9th, 10th grade, I used to Xerox copy my own comics.
Yeah.
And go and set up at local comic conventions,
Just like the
and
Turtle guys did.
sell the
Yeah,
art.
they totally.
Yeah. Like that stuff was hugely inspiring for me. So growing up, like that's the kind of stuff I wanted to do, and it really rang a bell with me. So
That's amazing.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do that, and I always did as a kid, and into like out of high school, I was still making books, and then real life kind of hit. So I was doing retail stuff while still trying to make comics, and kind of fell into the fan art area of making a living. And there's nothing wrong with that. I still love fan art, and I love drawing characters, and but I mainly just draw like Ninja Turtles and stuff. So then I really, probably about 4 or 5 years ago, I wanted to get back into making comics, and I started making my own books, and I kickstarted the first 2 issues of this. It's called AI
Oh, so
Wars.
that's another video game homage. So
Yeah.
that's a good
It's my love tribute.
segue.
It's my love tribute to to Contra,
Yeah.
Metroid,
Super
Aliens,
Exceed, Super
RoboCop.
Contra.
But yeah, Caliber Comics, they were pretty big in the
I
80s and
remember them.
90s.
Yeah.
They published the
Yeah.
original Pro. They're still around and they're still putting out stuff, but more in graphic novel format. And they put out the 4 issues into a collected graphic
That's
novel.
awesome.
So
So,
this was pretty awesome. This was my published work coming back into making comics, so it was really
that is cool.
inspiring. And
What
yeah, so when the pandemic hit, it was like, let's make some more comics.
with that Bounty Bullfrog, you should put out an exclusive one day of like your original drawing cover. Like
Yeah, director's
Yeah.
cut.
I
Yeah,
want to do a homage
yeah,
to
yeah.
it. Like, I definitely want to do a homage cover to it. But I've got an idea of putting out like the old sketches and the old pages with the new ones,
I
and
love that
kind
you
of making
have
like a
like an original piece like that. Like that's so
yeah.
cool to
I
me.
actually have like several comics that are like this, where there's just multiple books, but I only have like 1 or 2 copies left, because when I made these, I would print like maybe 10 or 15 off at a
Just to
time
sell. Yeah.
and take them to a show and sell them, and then what was left over was it. And I would always try to keep at least 1 copy for myself. So
Prototype. That's
yeah,
very
yeah,
cool. Now,
but yeah,
since we're talking about the video game homage there for a sec, Tyler has the Maniac of New York, Bronx is Burning video game covers up on screen right now. What can you tell us about those?
yeah.
Because again, we didn't realize those were yours, and we love that series. We've been
I
oh yeah,
I hadn't even seen them yet, and when I was looking through your website and I was looking through some of your art and getting stuff up for the show, I saw that and I said, I need to have that. Like I mean it's a great
Awesome.
game, but it's a horrible game.
yes,
And the fact that you
Yeah,
have not just an homage of it, but even the same colors,
purple
the
version,
purple and the
yeah,
cyan,
yeah,
like that blew my mind. That really
yeah.
sold me on it.
Well, they thank you first of all. Yeah. So same people that I did my first 2 Ninja Turtle covers with, Epicos
yeah,
Comics. They came to me and asked me if I wanted to do another cover, and this time for a new Maniac New York miniseries, The Bronx
yeah.
is Burning. And I had always heard of the Maniac of New York, but I never got to read it. So I went online and I bought the digital copies and I read them, and I thought it was awesome. I really liked Maniac
The
Harry,
art
and
is amazing.
um
I have like a huge man
yeah,
crush on Andreas Moody's artwork now. So it's
Well, that and
it's beautiful
Aftershock.
stuff.
yeah,
So many of the books
yeah,
Aftershock
we're
put out.
aftershock horrors too. So
Yeah, it was really cool, and I like the idea that it's very Friday the 13th, and I was like, well, what can I do that would like kind of stand out like that? And so I submitted like the idea of the Friday the 13th cover, because I always thought that was cool. And they wanted to do like a variant, kind of like a Virgin style cover. And I told them Epicos did. So I asked them, I was like, well, what if instead we just did like in the video game, he's like this blue and
yeah,
purple, and that like people who know that game would know this, and they'd get that extra little geek out
yeah,
kind of
almost
thing,
like an Easter
like
egg.
only the fans would know. So they loved it and they thought it was a great idea. And yeah, so the blue and the blue and purple one is like more
Right.
rare
Yeah,
Yeah.
than
yeah.
the regular version.
And is there still
But yeah,
copies of that for sale
super
up
fun.
as well, or do you know? Or
On my website, yes, there are still a few copies left over. When they got their covers, unfortunately, this version, the most rarest one, ended up getting, I think, like 50 or 60 copies were damaged,
oh,
and they only made like
right.
200 or
Yeah.
something like that. So it's even more rare than what they had available. But yeah,
But
Justin
you
from
you had
Big
you had
Country
me
Comics, he bought the original.
it was still available, so you didn't have to tell me about the more rarity part. So sorry.
Raise
What
the
All
price
right.
quick.
yeah. Sorry, what were you saying about Justin?
Oh, he bought the original from me.
Oh,
Oh, he would.
So yeah, he bought the original art, and I sent him copies of the books too. And That's how we ended up started talking more, and then that's how they got me on
Great.
tags.
Well,
So that was
oh, he
pretty
didn't
cool.
tell me he bought that art. That's
That
a,
doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Justin's always got the best art.
that's cool. I ended up buying because we put out a cover for the Chicken Devil, so I ended up buying the Mike Ruth Happy Hour cover art for Chicken Devil. Um, so he
All
probably
right.
took that money and flipped it into that. So awesome. Do you have a? I mean, I know you like your drawing, your samurai, your turtles and stuff like that. But do you have like? Is it? Do you prefer just that kind of genre, or do you like drawing like say like fantasy stuff or
I'm big on horror. I love sci-fi and I love
yeah
horror. And I actually have a couple ideas for like a sci-fi, like a fantasy kind of book that I want to do. Like, do you remember
yeah
Warlands back in the '90s, late '90s, like Pat Lee's Warlands
yeah
from
I do.
Image? I've been looking at a lot of that lately. But that's so far off. Like my main goal right now is to stick with Bounty and trying to get Bounty out.
Hmm.
It's going to be like 5 issues, and I'm on issue 2 right now, and it should be done hopefully by
Cool,
March. So then we'll kickstart issue 3 probably around like April
nice.
if I can swing
Yeah,
Well,
it.
if you
So
send us any of the information you have for all that, and we'll gladly share it.
for sure.
absolutely, thank
We would
you.
even
Yeah,
love to like be interested in helping you sell it as well one day if you can sell it retail wise like exclusives or we started to sell
yeah.
just help launch some new comics. We launched one earlier this week, a horror comic. So yeah, let us know.
That's kind of what
Nice.
we're about. Getting the
Exposure.
exposure, and yeah, whether it's artists or writers or whoever, that's kind of our thing that we're going for, is just get the little guys out there, because that's where all the good stuff is coming from these days.
Yeah, I love horror. Like horror is like a big thing for me.
Okay, well, I won't talk about it right now because that would be cheesy. But when you when we're off there, I'll shoot you
Oh,
information
that's
about
awesome.
our new horror book.
Yeah, please do. That
Oh,
sounds great. This is the Jim Lawson
that's
variant
awesome.
for the first issue. Jim Lawson, obviously, he worked on Turtles
Yeah,
for
Yeah,
30 something
I
years,
love
but
the black
he did
there.
a beautiful like Daredevil recreation cover.
So in that
I think
artwork there,
Jim.
is he working on black and coloring white, or is he working on white and all blacking that in?
He sent me the original. Like I've got him to do 2 covers. He did a cover for issue
Uh-huh.
2 also, and yeah, it's all white, and then he inks it
Okay,
all in
okay.
black. But it was so beautiful in black and white, and it was kind of another way to. I didn't want to color it, so I wanted. It was also like a great homage to the original Turtles in black
I
and white.
agree.
So I kind of left it
Or like
that
Frank
way.
Miller, Daredevil type stuff.
that's what I
Yes,
was getting. Yeah,
yes.
Yeah,
Daredevil vibes.
that's very cool. So, what do you prefer? Like, what do you feel you're stronger at, or what do you prefer doing more, the writing or the art part?
Um, mainly, I do both. I'm one of those like I wish I had a team of people, but I do it all. I pencil, ink, letter,
Mm-hmm.
wrote. So I have the ideas. I've just been like that since, like I said, since I was a little
Mm-hmm.
kid. Kind of like being solo in high school with
Yeah,
it. It was one of those things where like I didn't want to.
it's your baby.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's hard letting go and letting someone else kind of like
No, no,
to,
I get it.
have the ropes
No,
to
I
it.
get it.
But
I really like that. I'm super interested in that. So we'll definitely help you uh do more with that whatever way we can. But um, this is crazy. I didn't realize so much of this stuff would be so interesting. I thought we'd be watching you draw, but I'm happy just doing this too. So
no, yeah, I realized I was like, oh man, we haven't even started
no, that's
drawing
okay.
yet. But
That's cool, man. It's all good. What you were doing there with your blue outlining and that, I've seen that it's kind of like what a tattoo artist does, or before they start a tattoo, or what we see Mike Ruth do all the time. He'll take a drawing and then kind of do like a chalk transfer onto the cover. Just again too. Yeah. So
yes, I, I love the way he does
Yeah,
that.
every time he does
I
that,
might have to like borrow that.
every time he does that, I always
I might
make
have to
fun
borrow
of
that
him, or not
idea.
make fun, and make him explain that procedure
I
because
don't
it's
know
so cool.
anyone that likes to talk about art or art supplies or anyone more than Mike Ruth. That guy just art is
He's
his
passionate.
everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I make these dummy books too. Like so like with the first issue of Bounty, like I kind
Oh
of like
wow.
make these little sketches and like thumbnails to kind of like go off of, and if I like
Yeah.
them, I usually do them all in like ballpoint pen, and then I scan them. So like there might be something that doesn't work out, but fits better on another page, and I'll take all that and just kind of put it all together. But,
That's crazy. That's like
It's like Ashcan.
early Walt Disney Mickey Mouse sketch kind of thing.
yeah. And it's cool to have too, because then like I just have that floppy and just like sitting around. That's like
Well,
this is what the sketches
especially
were.
especially nowadays because everything is so digital. So
Hmm.
Yeah, I
that's
love
really cool.
digital, and I use digital a lot for like my thumbnails. So like what I'll do is I'll take like here we go. Like this is the script from the first issue. So like when
Mhm.
I'm reading my script that I've written, I like kind of make
Kind of like
little,
storyboarding
yeah,
almost,
yeah, I
eh?
make these little storyboard style panels, and then I'll take those and I'll try to like just compile them and see what they would look like in comparison to like a full page. So like this page for instance is so make it a little bigger for you guys. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Yeah,
So
we can see it.
so I've got
I
this
can see it.
panel, this page here, and then it
Hmm.
looks like this page.
Oh, I can see it. Yeah, that is really cool.
Or I've got this little like car here. That's a taxi. Like there's a huge chase scene. So
That's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. So I'll
So,
take that and I'll
It
scan.
translate over perfectly. Like your vision is coming across perfectly.
Yeah.
are you a little OCD or?
I don't know what it is. I don't like I try to be really loose with everything, but
Oh yeah, it looks like
Yeah.
when it comes to it, like
Might
yeah,
as well be perfect art on the sketches there.
it.
but I'll so
No,
yeah, I scan that and then I you can see where like I blow it up pretty big on there, and then when I make the page, I just
that's cool.
and then I print that out like thin blue lines, and I just ink and I do like ink wash over it.
I love that it all starts by hand like that. That's not something I would think that happens very often anymore.
No,
I love that.
I mean,
yeah,
I've
me too.
I've got a comic I'm doing. I'm a big Castlevania fan, so
Yep.
Oh yeah,
I'm doing a comic called Silent Vania, and it's just
okay.
it's a whole comic sequential digitally drawn, but it's all in silent. It's all silent, so it's just mainly relying on
Oh
my storytelling. So it's more of
Yeah.
like
that's neat.
a, a way to kind of like build my storytelling skills, and that's the only thing I've done recently that's probably like fully digital.
Okay, but I'm
That's
guessing when you
cool.
start off with that, you still probably do like you were doing there with the thumbnail sketches and the ballpoint pen before you transfer over into the digital part,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
do you at all? Yeah.
That those sketches, yeah, I do everything digital, and then I scan those
Okay.
into Photoshop. So here's what that page looks like in
Oh
the
man.
original size. Yeah.
That's sweet.
So is that the original artwork for that page?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
And
It looks like it.
it probably doesn't do it justice at all in terms of seeing the ink wash and stuff. But
No, but
Yeah.
it still looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
yeah,
That looks great.
I can see it on that side panel there for sure where it's
The
scratching
gouges there,
along.
yeah.
Yeah. You can really see it. And on the
yeah.
road there.
I'm planning once the second issue's out to do another copy version of the first issue, but just all in black and white with the gray tones instead
Nice.
of just being a fully color. So that way, because I know there's a lot of people like me that I love this stuff. Like I eat this
I
stuff
do.
all the time. Like it's my favorite thing to see. I love behind the scenes stuff.
Hmm.
I do as well.
That's why director's cuts of books have done so well. The
Yeah,
last Ronin directors
Yeah,
and yeah.
yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of those things. Yeah, the director's cut. I really need to get that book. I like that one. I flipped through the one recently that was the design stuff. So it's like
Right.
all the design, like layout, machines and robots and costumes he did. I was like, man, this stuff is
Yeah, that's cool.
killer.
You don't have the last Ronin director's cut?
No, not yet, not yet.
Oh,
I
we'll,
was,
we'll make a trade. We'll make a trade, maybe.
yeah, there you go.
We got a couple copies because we were selling some of those. So again, that's something that we'll talk about off air. So
Yes, please, please. We'll
I
figure
like to
something out for
imagine
sure.
that there's either short boxes and long boxes next to each other. One's got the fully printed out issues like the one you see there, but then there's also the little mini sketch ones you've
yeah,
done, and
that would be awesome.
Yeah, I do these books called like I Like Turtles. So
Oh,
this is
nice.
volume 3, and it's pretty much just like I try to do like a Turtle Tuesday kind of thing every Tuesday when I can.
yeah,
Yeah, I see
Sometimes
those all
it
the
goes
time.
on. Sometimes it goes on Wednesdays, but it's just a collection of like drawings and stuff that I've done of just nothing but
nice.
Ninja Turtles.
Oh, that's very cool.
So every once in a while, I try to like um, put in a couple of like sketches. Like here's like
That
the original
Usagi one was
Uno
awesome.
Nice.
for the Ronin. There's the inks, and then what the Guillermo Mendez is this artist who did the coloring for me. But yeah, I just
And
compile them
who's
on.
put these ones out? Is this like
That's neat.
totally self
This is
done?
me. Yeah, this is just
Yeah.
me.
Man, you got
Um,
so much stuff I want.
yeah, it's just like a little like collection. So I do like a little limited run for each volume,
Mhm.
and I usually have the cover blank, and then like there'll be an image on the back,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and then so yeah, this is the third volume. And these are available on the website too, but
Okay.
yeah, it's just
Well,
I try to
sounds
collect all the
like
pieces I worked
your
on.
website's going to be getting some heavy traffic, and after this interview.
I hope so. That'd be great. That'd be great.
Yeah. That's awesome, dude.
But yeah, I guess we should start drawing, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it sounds good. I mean, we could keep talking, but
I
yeah,
know
let's start
I
doing
got so
it.
distracted.
That's all
I
right. It's
apologize.
fun. So I know you said you're in the south, like southwest, like south, like south, like Alabama south, or south. Like I'm not just naming off places, or south
No,
like
yeah,
Florida south, or California, or Texas,
I
or
live in Georgia.
oh
Mhm.
Georgia. Okay, yeah, so near Florida.
So yeah, it's kind of near Florida. Um, Not too far though. Like I couldn't imagine living that far south because it just would be like horrible to try to like venture off anywhere else that's not
Right.
Florida because it's so like this long state that
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
yeah, just to get to like Orlando from where I live is about 8 to 9 hours. So
Okay.
I couldn't imagine. And Orlando is like dab in the middle of Florida.
Right. When you were I've asked this question to the other guys who've done some of the exclusive covers for Last Ronin. When you were sent, your information about doing a cover in that, did you have any idea on who the Last Ronin would be, or did you? I know they all say that they didn't know, obviously, but did you have a guess on who it'd be, and you were surprised and wrong, or did you just draw knowing that you thought it would be this person, or how did you? What did you think about that?
Well, I'm a huge Raphael fan, so
Everybody thought it was going to be Raphael,
of
but
course I wanted it to be Raphael, but I knew deep down that it wasn't gonna be him,
me too.
just because he's the hothead, and sometimes that makes you the worst candidate to slip up first. Which
For
if you
sure.
read the books,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
but I had heard that in previous interviews that back when Eastman had originally been talking about this rough idea, back
Hmm.
when it was still a concept, he had mentioned that it was Mikey. So I kind of already had that feeling. But yeah, doing the cover, it was just a lot of the time when you are doing covers for cover variants, it's super rare that you actually get to see like what the interior comic was like.
Right.
Yeah,
Here's another
beyond like an
here's another
ash tan
segue.
or
I did a variant cover for Black Friday for Scout Comics.
Oh,
yeah,
I didn't know you
Um,
had one for that too.
yeah.
yeah. It's called from Black Caravan.
Yeah.
It's an exclusive variant, and they did have the first two issues. They did let me see,
Right.
but so I was able to kind of get a better idea for doing a variant. But with something like the Last Ronin, it was just more like
Yeah. Too hush hush.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think they could really risk wanting anyone to know what's going
Right.
on since
Yeah.
it became
Because
such a phenomenon.
when we did covers for Chicken Devil and also for Black Caravan, there we did cover for Swamp Dogs.
Nice.
We were able to see the interior art for that a little bit earlier as well. But for those books,
Chicken Devil, we got a preview. Swamp Dogs, we got the whole first issue.
yeah,
Yeah.
and when I understand for that, that's part of the selling point there because they want you to see the artwork to, help sell the book. Get the characters they'll introduce where you don't have to do that already with the turtles, right? So
Right. Yeah. But it was just that's one of the reasons why with issue I think that's why we see so many of just different awesome like incredible poses or cool like fight poses and stuff, and
yeah,
that's all we really get from the first five covers because no one knows, so
right.
it's just kind of like this guessing game. But so when I did my variant for issue 5, I knew that I wanted to try to be outside of that box, so I did a homage to the original um,
Issue 7.
issue 7 of
Yeah.
Mirage. And
I have that one actually signed by Eastman.
yeah, it's one of my favorite covers, and
Me
I
too.
loved that as a like back when I got into them again in high school. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is insane! Just like this huge fight scene between army men and Ninja Turtles and Triceratons, and
Yep.
just seeing that, it was just really cool. And I, I I even have it. If you look on the cover and compare it to the original, I made sure to place like Fugitoids kind of like wedged behind like an army guy. So like I purposely made sure his head actually lines up with where he is in the
Yeah.
original cover.
Yeah,
And
it's very accurate.
I have like April, like she's got like as if his head's like on her shoulder or something, using him. But we did that before I think issue 4 released.
Hmm.
So didn't know what they were planning with Fugitoid and that kind of thing. But it still got approved, and um, yeah,
It
it's just a
is it
fun something a little different than just here's that striking pose that we're constantly seeing. So
Your stuff is definitely pretty unique when it comes to the launch of other covers. Like, it's a lot more different. Where they go from a lot of people doing a similar idea, where yours, like this one, I don't think there's another one that's anywhere close to it. Um, Same with that like that Black Friday one.
yeah.
Like that one was super different as well.
I
When
think
it comes to doing like this one here being the wraparound, is it like did you guys have a plan to do a full page wraparound at first, or it was just as you knew you had a cover and you were thinking of ideas and then decide that you can do a wraparound and then you had to get their permission first as well, or did you do that idea first and then go to them? Like, how does that differ compared to just the single page front cover?
so. What had happened was originally when I had heard from Epicos that we had missed the deadline for the first issue, I had also reached out to TMNT Collector,
Yeah,
Hmm.
who
yeah,
puts out some exclusive turtle covers, and we had been talking. We were trying to get on the first issue, and what had happened was we missed the deadline there too. So, but thankfully, like I said, later on, Epicos came back saying that there was an extension. So we had automatically agreed that what we were going to do was we were going to do issue 5. Like later down the road, issue 5 is the last issue. It's a good closure kind of thing. It'll be a big clincher kind of thing. And I had originally had submitted a wraparound sketch where I think it was like I don't even know where it is, but it was Last Ronin, kind of like in these like rafters of like these weird antenna satellites, and you see the skyscape in the background of like of the Foot Clan, of the Foot, you know, base or whatever. But
Uh-huh.
since I had more time and time was going by and we were getting more of that story, I kind of realized that like I didn't want to just, like I said, do another standard. Here's a cool pose. Like I liked it, and I love those. Like every cover I've seen is just incredible and intimidating in a way, but
Sure.
Mhm.
like they're just beautiful covers. Everyone's just killing it. But again, I wanted something that like if you were a huge Turtle fan, like you knew it, like you knew what that cover was from. It stood out to you, and it was gonna reminisce with you, and also just paying homage to like Eastman and Laird. Like,
And that was going to be my next question. After doing this cover, or no, during any of your work on The Last Ronin, have they reached out to you all, or have you talked to any of those guys? Like whether because they just an appreciation, or they reached out of the process, or
I wish.
oh yeah, yeah,
No, no, I haven't heard from anyone. I mean, I know that Eastman's super busy
well
trying to get
yeah.
this book done, so maybe afterward that'd be great. But I know that his studio has bought a couple of. I think they pre-ordered a couple of copies
Oh cool.
just to have. So that's fantastic. But
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, like I wanted something different, and I knew that would be such a good kind of just something nice to see that's not just your typical
Yeah,
thing.
I recognized it right away. Like I
Yeah.
thought that was pretty
Like I
cool.
said, like if you're a Turtle fan, you've seen that cover before, and you're like, wait a minute, this looks cool. But I had heard from Rich from the TMT Collector. He said that my cover was actually one of the last ones, apparently, that IDW is letting them do, like letting people do with homage covers.
Oh wow,
Oh,
I was like, oh, that's really cool.
that's
Um,
cool.
so that was really exciting to hear. I thank God, because if they had rejected it, I'd still have time to like come up with something new. But like I was really putting all my eggs in that one basket, really.
Sure.
Same with that Maniac cover. I had done that, and we had to tweak a couple of things with that Maniac cover because they didn't want it to look super identical
Well,
to the original, because I
it
think
looks pretty
copyright
identical.
issues or something. They wanted to make sure. So yeah, it's like real subtle things. Like if like I had to move the hand that's holding the blade. I had to like tweak that a little bit, like just
Okay.
real subtle things.
Hmm.
And then yeah, my colorist is from Brazil, so I
oh,
was telling him, I'm like, I want it to look like this, like get these colors. And um, there's a little bit of a translation issue there. So he was just like, he did this beautiful color job for the first one,
Uh-huh.
and it looked great, but it didn't have that 90s like color palette of just popping weird colors
mm.
and
Yeah.
just really out there. So um, yeah,
Ha,
because
ha,
when
has
you look at
anybody?
that, it's just so many weird
Oh,
colors and stuff. So I told him, I was
yeah.
like, this is fantastic. And like the coloring here is beautiful, but that background, just the background has to look like the video.
Yeah.
It's kind of muted. Yeah.
Yeah. So he ended up doing, he's like, are you sure? Like it's really weird color. Like it didn't, as like a colorist, I think like, he couldn't wrap his mind
Yeah.
around like why they used those colors. And
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, I was like, just trust me, trust me. So we did it, and I was like, this is beautiful. Like this is beautiful. And he's like, okay. And then I was like, the blue, and can you do one where he's blue and purple? And he's like, but that won't, the warm and the cool colors they
Yeah.
don't go together. Trust me.
He's talking like an artist.
Yeah, yeah. He's just like,
So,
he's just not understanding like the whole idea. But when he saw it, he's like, okay, this is cool. So
did you hear anybody from like say like from like Nintendo or from like the Friday the 13th franchise or anything like that about this? Like even just like a
uh,
like or
uh,
somewhere or anything or
no, I wish um it came out in December, so I think December was just like, it's one of those hard months for
yeah.
anyway.
Yeah,
But
December and January, there wasn't a whole lot happening for comics. It had really slowed down.
yeah, so I think it just kind of got lost. But it's still available from Epicos and from me.
We'll
So
bring it back for you.
yes,
We'll make it
yeah,
popular. We'll make it viral.
that would be awesome.
We
It
we have that kind of influence,
actually,
right?
it's so
That's what
funny
I'd love to hear.
since we're talking about turtles. On our Instagram account the other day, we actually had the guy that plays Leonardo from the first movie like our
Yeah,
some of our turtle pictures. So
Mark. What's his name? Oh, Mark. I apologize.
Oh, let me
Got
pull
Mark's
it up.
last name.
Tyler's gonna look it up right
Yeah,
now. Yeah.
it was like
Yeah,
Italian or Brazilian or something.
No, I thought he was
he's
American Gym Team.
he's on Instagram, and he will like
Yeah,
everything you do. Yeah,
that's where we got it from. Yeah,
Mark
he is.
Casso.
yeah, Mark Casso.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. He's liked tons of my pieces too, my turtle stuff. But
well, that's cool.
yeah, he's really cool. Like it's cool to see like the guy that played in the Leonardo just
Hmm.
Yeah,
just
that blew
liking
my
your
mind.
randomly liking your photos. Yeah, it just blows your mind. Definitely,
Very
it's
cool.
cool. But yeah, he likes all the turtle stuff. I'm like that's cool that he like goes on there and like is being supportive that way.
Very neat. Are you planning on doing some cons this year, or is it up in the air just because of the whole, world situation and that, or
Yes and no.
yeah?
It's one of those things. Well, my wife's got Crohn's disease, so
Oh, okay.
she's got like um, she's just got one of those things where like if she gets sick, it's not a
Yeah,
not a good thing.
yeah.
And
Compromised immunity, I believe, is the
yes,
term they used. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. So um, another reason why I launched the Kickstarter for Bounty um, near the end of the 2020 was mainly due to the fact that like I wanted to do something where I could be mainly at home making comics and just being with my family and not being a risk factor because the last
Hmm.
thing I want to do is compromise her immune system.
Sure.
And so I've been doing local shows, so
Yeah.
I'll do something that's like maybe like a 1 day thing where I'm like 2 hours away tops. That's
Hmm.
as far as I'll really drive. But I haven't really been doing anything where I'm spending a couple of days at a show that's out of town or anything. Um, just like I said, just because I don't want to risk anything for her or
So
my son's 5, so he's
oh,
not.
is he? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he's not um, vaccinated or anything yet for that kind of thing. So I don't want to get anyone sick.
Sure. Well, and with your wife having Crohn's, there, does that mean like you guys all eat super healthy and
I
and that?
wish. I mean,
Oh,
we definitely have over the years uh, changed a lot of our food habits. Just to kind of um, help with that, but there are days where like she can't eat certain things and we can, so we do that. But we've steered a lot away from meat. We still eat it from time to time, but
yeah.
not as much just because of like the hormones and all the stuff that's in it. But yeah, we eat a lot of more vegetables and we try to eat as healthy, I guess, as anyone possibly can
Well, yeah, for
with
sure.
that disease. But um, just try to not stress about everything because
We get you. We get you.
mainly with Crohn's, it's a lot of like stress on your body, and so anything we can do to kind of not worry about that kind of thing, we just let whatever happens happen.
It does already, so why worry about it until you can,
Right,
right?
right.
That's cool. I am loving your drawing so far. That
Thank
is,
you.
it looks so. When I watch you guys do this, it just amazes me how like, I'm a hairdresser as well. So I mean, I guess when I cut hair, people think the same thing too. It's like, how do you see that when you're going? Like, do you have a finished product in your mind? And being a hairdresser, like you kind of do, but at the same time, you kind of have to see how your environment reacts with everything around you. But yeah,
That's exactly it. That's
yeah,
the best way to.
but you're just nailing this really fast. And what the printout that you did there, was that a drawing you'd already done and you just printed out again, or is that
Yeah,
something you
yeah.
drew? Oh, okay.
Um, so when I was getting ready for the tags show where we all ended up drawing stuff,
Yeah.
I already sent it off to the man that bought the piece, but I did a couple of different sketches. So this is the sketch of this that I'm working on actually right here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
So I did this sketch, and then I did another one right here. So I did this one, and on my
Yeah.
Oh
I,
yeah,
I
I
yeah.
saw that
scanned them.
on your post there all week
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
I scanned them, and I did this for Turtle Tuesday this past Tuesday. So
Yeah. I really like that.
what I'll probably do is just sell this one too. I figured it'd be a nice little fun thing to draw while we talked.
Yeah, it's
But
cool.
it's exactly that. Yeah, like you kind of have an idea of what to go into, but yeah, you prepare for mistakes or you prepare for anything that could go wrong.
Yeah.
Happy little accidents, happy little
Yeah.
chagrins.
Yeah, exactly. When you say for like your auctions and that, you do them on Facebook and Instagram as well, or just on Facebook, or?
Yeah, so I post them on Facebook and Instagram, and then I usually post them like at noon, and then let them run until like 10 at night,
Right.
Eastern Standard Time, and then um, and then just go from there. So
Have you tried or thought about doing the Whatnot app for auctions and stuff?
I've heard about it. I mean, I only heard about it, I think, from Aaron Bartling
Yeah,
started
because
Yeah.
doing it.
we were looking about it too, and he's been doing it for a while now, and he seems to have some pretty positive results. So I was just asking about you.
Yeah,
We don't have it in Canada yet. They're just still actually working on it, setting it up for Canadian retailers. But I was just wondering if you did that, because it seems like a lot of people in the States are having pretty positive things about it.
yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out because I'm assuming it's just like an auctioning kind of thing.
Yeah, it's
Is that
kind of like it's like the best of YouTube and eBay put together, they say. So
interesting? Yeah,
It seems good for creator interaction.
yeah.
yeah. I think that might be something I have to look into.
So this might be a bit more of a tough question because I think had I asked it, the answer would have just been turtles. But you've already worked on it. What is your dream project to work on?
It still is turtles. It's still like I'm very grateful to finally get some turtle covers. Like I have been dying to work on turtles in some form or fashion. Like I have a vision
Hmm.
board. Here, I'll grab it real quick. I actually need to update it because I made this vision board about 5 or 6 years ago,
Oh, you've
and
met some goals.
I straight up like, yeah, I've met some goals. I want to make some new ones and drink coffee and make comics. That's all I do. Um, publish
Did
my
you
comics.
draw that too? I like that.
No, this is Alex Zarit, I think his name is. I forget how to say his last name. He did Space Riders.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, fantastic artist. I love his work. But yeah, published some through IDW, Ninja Turtles right here.
Hmm.
Still haven't met the Batman goal yet, so it's still there. It's still there.
Okay.
Live in a nice house, make $100,000 a year, travel with my family. Again, this was before COVID, but
Right.
get my have movies and video games made of my comics.
That's pretty cool.
That's still a goal. Like I actually had a friend who does like these little cool, awesome claymations, and he made a cool 45-second claymation of Bounty Bullfrog.
Oh wow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's fantastic. I ended up I loved it so much. I told him I was like, let's do a variant cover. So I kind of gave him an idea of what I wanted, and he took it, and we made a limited like 50 copies. But yeah, there's
Oh
Oh,
wow.
right. I did
yeah
see that one.
yeah it's
Yes.
a double sided cover. His name's Austin Williams, and but yeah, it's a 45-second little video of Bounty fighting some of the Plague ninjas, and it's the coolest thing. It's on YouTube. If you type in Bounty Bullfrog animation,
That's
and
cool.
you can find it. It's the coolest thing ever. So that I feel like that's the start. But yeah, that was part of my vision board stuff.
Maybe I'll edit that into the video. Put it right after you're
Yeah,
discussing it.
That's cool.
seriously, when you see it, like he did a fantastic job. He really did.
That's very cool.
But yeah, I still want to do more turtle stuff. If I could, I would love to do something Ghost Rider. I love
Uh-huh.
Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
I did have your Ghost Rider piece up here earlier, and that is a really nice Ghost Rider.
Thank you, thank you.
Even
Yeah,
even your vision board there was pretty artistic looking. I thought you were just gonna show me like a drawing of a list like you did with your earlier projects there, but
Spaced out
yeah,
evenly.
like
yeah,
all
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it says work
You can
on
tell you plan
IW
things in
turtles.
advance.
Yeah, but
that's
it's
pretty cool.
yeah. So I got to make a new one since I've met a couple of those goals, and um, but I'm very grateful for what I've been able to accomplish so far. Um, but it's one of those things where you long for more, but you also feel like you haven't done much at all. But so
Yep.
it's like I'm constantly having to tell myself like you know you've been doing some stuff, and you know you're getting there, and it takes time. So
Well, yeah, and working on the Turtles book and some of the Last Ronin, like those have been some of the biggest books from
Oh
Turtles
yeah.
in the last how many
right.
years?
You
Like
can,
that's a pretty big feat.
well, not even just
Oh
turtles in
yes.
general, just biggest books around in general. So
Yeah, yeah. Like, anything that I mean, like Turtles is like has always been one of those things. So um, it has been a dream come true, especially when I got that first little character wraparound
hmm hmm
blank variant. But to get on the Last Ronin, like I heard that was coming out, and I went straight to the Epicos guys, and I was like, guys, we have to do something. Like this is going to be the biggest turtle book, and like you said, yeah, in like a very long time, and I want to be on it. So we managed
Now,
to thankfully get a part of it.
do you want to be like not just on Turtles itself, but do you want to be like a full-time artist, like on one thing continuously, or do you like having right now where you can do your freelance work and still, commit as much time possible to your creator own stuff? Because I know
Uh,
I know it's a hard balance when you're trying to do
yeah,
both, right?
yeah, it's I'm not going to say no to something that I would just be constantly working on, but I do have that artist ADD where like I'm off doing something and then I come up with another idea. Like I've got like 8 story ideas sitting off to the side that I want to work on, but
Hmm
I promised myself that like I want to finish Bounty, at least the first story arc, do something different, then put that out, and then come back to another story arc for Bounty and that kind of thing. So um, I'm not burning myself out. I don't.
Yeah.
Um, Burnout's really difficult to kind of get over. And but yeah, I would love to work on something that's like 12 issues maybe,
Right.
but nothing where like unless it's something creator owned that I feel like
Yeah.
I could spend the next 30 years on that I would love, but I
That'd
don't
be cool.
I don't want to I don't want to always just do um
Somebody else's.
someone else's characters. I've been a huge fan of like indie comics, like I said, since I was young,
hmm
and that's one of the things that really, on top of Ninja Turtles, just drew me to Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, was the fact that they were like creating these characters and then creating these other books and just putting them out, and that just blew me away as a kid, like that I could do that too. Like what's stopping me from making a comic and going to a show and selling it? So
Well,
uh,
that's what our passion is too, is the independent stuff. Like Tyler being younger, is just getting into the independent stuff now, through us and through my exposure, where much like yourself there, I mean, I grew up reading the main stuff too, but I dipped into, anything and everything possible when I saw it, especially like underground and like I said, limited the smaller stuff like your Usagi Yojimbos and
Yeah.
the turtles and that before they were known colorized. So I appreciate all that, and that's our goal is even on our weekly TV show, or not TV show, but our weekly streaming show.
Kind of like a public access
Yeah,
show.
I guess so.
That's
But
all.
that's what our show started out to be, was just point out the new independent books that came out during the week, and that, and now it's kind of morphed into this as well. Like, and even us too, we've had an opportunity or two to like maybe get a cover for like a DC or a Marvel book, but we
Yeah.
just didn't think it was worth it money wise compared to how much more it could be used better for smaller talent to get that word out, which I enjoy. So like,
Yeah, I will say, like, I really like doing covers. I know there are people, like, I talked to a friend that's I actually went to a local comic shop called Syndicate Comics, and I was talking to a friend there who had just gotten his first image cover with Syndicate. They were doing a variant for I forgot the name of the title of the book. They're gonna kill me, but he was talking about how, like, that's all he wants to do is just do cover work.
yeah.
Um, and that's fine. Yeah, like that's what he feels comfortable with, and um, that's what he
It's
wants
a
to
big
do.
difference between doing covers and interiors.
Yeah, yeah. Like he just said that, just like how much more work it is to do sequentials, and I get that. Like, that's, it's different for everybody, but there's just something about telling stories. Like, I'm a huge Ben Templesmith fan.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, me too.
Over the last couple of years, Templesmith's been a huge influence on me, just because he just makes comics. Just doesn't care. He's just making books and putting them out, and he's known for his 30 Days a Night stuff because he helped create that with Steve Niles.
Right.
I in a way feel like um, he may have, like, helped with the success of IDW,
Well,
like,
for that book for sure, yeah.
because he wasn't going to get paid for the issue 2 or 3 of 30 Days a Night, and he just finished it because he wanted to finish it and have it in his portfolio as
Mhm.
something he worked on. So I feel like, in a way, if he hadn't have finished it, then where would IDW be now? I mean, they could
Well,
be
yeah,
still the same, but you never know. But
that's true.
I'm a huge fan of his stuff and everything he does, and just making comics. I love seeing stories told, and um, different artists just doing that kind of stuff, and that's always been my passion. So I'll do covers all day long. Don't get me wrong. Um, so I'm down for doing covers, but if I can do interiors too, like, that's where I want to be also.
So, in regards to Bounty, like you said before, like that's one that you've been working on since you were much younger, like when you were 16, and like obviously to see it actually come to light and come out to the public is amazing. What's the general reaction been to it so far from the public?
Honestly, it's been super fantastic. Let's see. Hold on. When I announced that I was going to do, because when COVID hit, it was kind of like one of those things where, like, I kind of had to regroup, and so like I would do shows. And the funny thing is when 2020 hit, I had told myself, like, uh, when my New Year's resolution was to stay home more and make comics, and I didn't
More
think it was
people
going to
should
be
follow
that.
that.
I didn't think it was going to be that big of a wish since it started a pandemic, but I got that wish. So I found myself kind of going, okay, I can't go to shows where what I was doing was I make fan art pieces, and then I have my comics off to the side. So if um I make my money from the fan art stuff so I can continue to make my comics.
Right.
Hmm.
And when the pandemic hit, I found myself kind of like going, okay, well, I can't do shows anymore. So I did a lot of streaming and doing like live shows doing art and trying to sell original pieces and stuff like that. And that's when I was just like, well, the whole idea of this was to make comics. So I got back into it, and when I started announcing that here's this idea for this character I've had around since I was like 16, and I've always wanted to do something with them, and I couldn't figure out what to do. So here I am making it now, and what do you guys think? And people, like I said, I didn't ask my friend to make an animation that he took 3 months to do. And he blew me out of the water going, hey, I just made this because I thought it was this is such a cool character. And I had a friend who, he took some old Ninja Turtle toys,
Mm-hmm.
and he literally made Bounty Bullfrog for me.
That's awesome.
He made these custom figures. And I
He's
was
got
like,
a magnetic hand there, removable.
yes, it's the
That is
coolest.
fantastic.
It is the
I love
thing.
how much culture there is around Bounty Bullfrog already.
Yeah, he
That's fantastic.
He's got the arm, so there's the hand, and he made it magnetic to where it can come off, and you can put like a sword with
Those
it.
are old turtle toys that a buddy of his made into custom.
I was gonna say that was gonna be my information or my participation for your wish list was make sure you get action figures made.
Yeah, dude, that's gonna be on the new list. I promise you. But we loved him so much. Like my wife sculpts, so she took one too, and she made one herself. And she took a couple of old shredders and sculpted over them and made some.
They look
big figures.
like actual.
Like they should be part of that line.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Like that's Napoleon Bonaparte.
I'm almost
Bonaparte.
convinced you've come from an alternate universe where this was a huge thing already, and you just brought some of the memorabilia with you.
And it's been kind of mind blowing, like the fact that like that people have been making stuff like I didn't think that it was going to be that big of a interest in it, but like I kickstarted the first issue and it got I think I was asking for 6,000 and we ended up getting like 8,500.
Oh, wow.
It was great. And then I knew that books always kind of fall off a little bit with issue 2s, so I was only asking for 3 and we ended up getting 55.
Oh, still
wow.
cool.
So I mean,
okay, well I got another suggestion then. Since you already have action figures, you have to get one of those action figure covers.
Yeah.
for Bounty Bullfrog.
I probably should. I have
those are my favorite. I have all the Star Wars ones.
I have the 2012 series turtle turtle layer, if you've ever seen it.
Yeah.
So it's got the multiple layers, and then it's got like the street top scene. And I took the my buddy Matthew is who made these. I took these original figures and I put them on that street scene next to the trash can and the telephone pole, and I had them in fight scenes and poses, and it looked
so
awesome.
Cool.
It
that
is
so
looked
cool.
incredible. Like I couldn't believe it. But it's been pretty cool. Like just to see the response that people have had. I was at a show this past weekend that was a one-day little show that was like 40 minutes from me.
Yeah, I saw you mentioned that in your post too, and that.
Yeah,
you said that was local, right? Like within an hour, yeah.
Yeah, so less than an hour away. Stuff like that I'm willing to do because, like I said, it's easy for me. I go in the morning, I set up, I do the show, I tear everything down, and then I drive home. So I'm not like staying in a hotel and I'm worrying about that kind of stuff. So
right. Yeah, it's hard when you've got a family to do all that kind of traveling and stuff, especially when it's a younger family.
Right. That, and it's just made me also realize that like I said, like I wanted to make sure to make comics again, and I think there's something here with Bounty. It's like I sold like 15, almost 15 copies at the show, this one day show, and you know, when you've got like a little indie comic selling 12 to 15 copies, it's good. Like that's a good thing for a 1 day show of your book. So I'm very grateful that people are looking at it going, oh, this is cool. But I think a lot of that's because of, you know, they see my turtle stuff and that I'm getting turtle work. So um, I'm cool with that. If I can piggyback off the success of my cover work with turtles
Totally.
onto my original stuff, why not?
Maybe they'll meet up one day.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you've already got the action figures for it.
Just getting Jim Lawson to do a variant was just mind blowing enough. Like I said, Jim did one of my favorite storylines for Turtles, which was well, he did City at War, but the
Oh
Return to
yeah.
New York.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Return to New York is like one of my all time favorite. It's like 3 issues long.
Well, it's almost like the sequel to City at War.
Yeah,
Kinda. Yeah.
it came out. It's like issue 19, 20, and 21, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it's some of my favorite art ever. And so to get Jim Lawson to do a variant, not only one, like I say, he's done two. So that's been mind blowing, mind blowing. I would love to get Eastman to do a variant, and you know, Peter Laird. That would be incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. They're both awesome.
That would be like the ultimate crossover, like Eastman and Laird sort of influencing, I guess, Bounty Bullfrog from your childhood, and then to get Eastman to do an actual cover for it too, that would
Right,
be
right.
insane.
Yeah, that would just be a full circle. Like if you
Well,
told
yeah.
13-year-old Jason Flowers this, I wouldn't believe
If you
it.
did that, how are you gonna fill out a new vision board? What do you put
Yeah.
after that?
Yeah.
Meet Jesus? Like
Movies.
Oh, I thought you said boobies. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty that's pretty high too, I guess, but
I'd start a porn business. That's what I would. No.
Separate from Bounty Bullfrog,
That's right.
Yeah.
unrelated. Some
There'd be a
tie-in
parody.
merchandise.
There'd be a parody movie. No.
Fully licensed.
Yeah.
Bountiful bullfrog.
But no, yeah, like I love everything. Like I forgot the gentleman's name, but the guy that pretty much did all of the like Playmate original turtle toy sculpts.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yep, yep.
He's on Instagram, and I think it's like Vagrant Studios or something. And yeah, he still sculpts stuff for Playmates, and I think having him do sculpts would be fantastic. I would totally piggyback off of the same ideas that they did. Like I would use Playmates, and I would use, or at least the guy that sculpted from Playmates.
Oh yeah.
I could actually hire him because he does stuff on the
Absolutely.
side. But
And that's when you look at stuff nowadays, a lot of the stuff that does sell, like even action figure wise, is stuff that's made to look retro stuff, right?
yes,
Mhm.
So I mean,
exactly.
why not use the original dude for that? That's selling points right there. So
I see all. Are those the Masters of the Universe origin figures?
yeah, the
Yeah.
origins, yeah, they
Yeah,
have those, yeah. Well, even like a lot, they have all the Marvel ones, like Marvel's releasing like updated, not updated, but retro versions of their '90s stuff, right? Like all their
right.
Toy Biz stuff.
X-Men,
Yeah, the
Spider-Man.
Fantastic Four
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
hmm
So,
I've got a bunch of those, yeah.
Yeah,
But I like all that stuff. Like they've even
yeah.
got the Turtles that they've redone, and Transformers, GI Joe.
yeah.
Those are all wicked.
I can't help that. It's like crack for me.
Man, me too.
Oh yeah,
It sounds
you're
like
only
we're.
seeing part of a wall here. That's
Mine's all in my closet because I just
there's some in the closet
Yeah,
too.
we had to pack a bunch of stuff away to make room for the Nat Daddy
We needed
business
more
down
room
here.
for
So
comic long boxes and tables.
my son's 5, so like he's been seeing them all on my wall. So he's just like, oh, like, can I play with that? And I'm like, no, it's on card. Like you
yeah,
can't touch that.
You know,
But
it's funny because they've done those '90s Spider-Man cartoon figures. Back in Toy Biz did them in '90s, and now they've started doing the retro re-releases of them.
right,
And you had almost all of the '90s ones, and now I'm collecting these ones just out of like sense of nostalgia.
Yeah.
It's weird. 'Cause, 20, 30 years later, collecting the same things that you were collecting.
Yeah. Tyler's 26, so he learned at a young age not to touch the toys on the wall.
Well, I
Yeah.
just he just gave me the pouty face, so I was just like, all right. So a lot of my origin stuff, I buy doubles now, so that way I can have
Yeah.
one for myself and then one to open with him. So
We
Yeah.
were just talking about doing that last night, actually, buying a second Grayskull and a second of He-Man, whatever, just to have one set up.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I when they released the Castle Grayskull again last year, I picked up one and I haven't opened it yet just because one of the reasons I like it is for the box art itself as
oh,
much.
the box art's beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah, the old
that's what I've
He-Man
been
stuff.
really liking.
Yeah.
Is how the back of the cards have like new updated work. I hope they do like the slime pit. I really
That's
want the
what.
slime pit.
I've seen leaks and rumors that that's what they're working
Oh
on.
Yeah.
man, the slime pit, Hordax lair
Or
with
yeah,
Well,
the
I want Snake Mountain. Oh yeah, you're talking about
one
the
Snake
glove there.
Mountain.
Snake,
Yeah,
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 with the glove. That's what I said, Tyler. I said
yeah. The
Grayskull's
glove.
cool.
that glove looks so dumb. I love it so
It
much.
was
That's
a
what
dish
makes it
glove.
so
I
good.
know.
It was just
It was,
it was a dish glove that they just kind of painted eyes
Yeah,
on.
yeah, it might as well just been a googly-eyed sock puppet.
But it
it's
was
so
yeah, it
cool.
was. But it was great though.
I want
Nowadays it
the
would be soft. Yeah.
I want those, and I want the bone dinosaur.
Oh,
That you know.
the bone collector was like the
Yeah.
carrier case.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember that too. But
Yeah.
that thing was kind of sucked though because it was so hard to get the guys in,
Yeah.
and
They did.
and it would snap, it would break the prongs. Oh
I'm hoping they make all that stuff too. Yeah, we bought a snake. We bought a Castle Grayskull when it came out, and
yeah,
it's just beautiful.
How
yeah,
can you not?
yeah. How
Yeah,
could you not?
And
exactly.
it wasn't very expensive either. It's
No, it's
surprisingly
very
cheap
reasonable.
considering that some of these figures are $40 plus,
Right.
$50 depending.
Right, and you buy your everything in American money, so that's like half of what we pay in Canada. So
Yeah, it's like you can't resist. I can't resist. Like my Target has like they have probably like 9 or 10 um Castle Grayskulls just sitting there, and so I'm just waiting for them to go on clearance so I can
yeah,
try.
we're doing
Yeah,
that's what we're doing the same thing. We're waiting for one to go on clearance so I can bring it home and open it and like
Yeah.
damaged box, whatever.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I can just do some fun posts for our show as well too.
Yep. Just I drop my daughter off at school, and then I head over to Target, see if they're on clearance yet.
Yeah, I do that. The salon I work at when I'm cutting hair is has a Walmart in the mall there, so I pop in there every morning and
That's awesome.
just peruse what's going on.
Yeah. You know.
This is
Can't,
turning out awesome.
thank
Yeah, I
you.
keep getting lost and getting distracted staring at it, and I realize, oh, I haven't said anything for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, that is so cool.
Yeah, you're doing the wash now.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, the wash is my favorite part, just because
It comes alive.
yeah, it just brings out so much more like texture and depth to it.
right. So you said that you have younger people living in the house there, younger off breeds or sorry, offspring. I was thinking multiple sentences ahead there. What do they think about dad being a comic book artist, or do they not realize how cool that is because it's just so standard to them? Like,
My daughter's she's 13 right now, so doesn't she thinks it's cool, but like I don't think it really sinks into her. And my son's 5, and he's at this awesome age of like literally drawing his brains out now. So he's
yeah, yeah.
just started getting like this craving to draw, and
So he's
you know,
got one of his little ragtag sketchbooks going too.
oh well, you buy like he likes to draw on single pieces of paper right now.
Oh,
So
okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
like we bought a giant 500 piece ream of typing paper, and he's already almost gone through that. Just every day, just draws at least like 5 or 6 images, and he loves
Wow.
like the horror stuff. And he's got like with the new He-Man cartoon on Netflix.
Yeah.
Right.
I got him to watch that, and so he hasn't really been like into turtles yet, but it'll come. It'll come. I'm not too worried.
How do you,
It'll happen.
how do you feel about having a teenage daughter there?
Uh,
That's got to be kind of crappy.
that's a story in itself, my friend. It's it's interesting so far. It's a lot of like having to get used to girls being teenagers. I don't know. I've never dealt with a teenage kid
Not
before.
not
So,
even not even when you were a teenager, you weren't dealing with teenage girls. So.
well, yeah. Like when I was
Yeah, I know the
13,
feeling.
like my wife's over here telling me stuff, and I'm like, dude, when I was 13, like I was by myself, like reading comics and playing video games. Like I wasn't really into girls and
For
paying
sure.
attention to things, and
Well, just wait till she gets older, like when she starts hitting 15, 16, 17, and then you start having those thoughts in your head, like what you were thinking about 15 and 16 and
oh, I
17.
know.
And then you'll really be have a different frame thought there. So,
She's got a little boyfriend herself, so I'm
okay.
already like, oh no, like you you stay away.
So, and again, not to sound too Canadian, so being Georgian and down in the south there, does that mean there's like a shotgun sitting on the porch there next to a rocking chair or?
No, no. I mean, I've got long hair, so I'm pretty tall and big, so
Oh,
I'm
that's cool.
intimidating alone. So I don't need weapons.
You work to your strengths.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't need anything too much, and thankfully to intimidate. But no, he's a good kid. He's a good kid.
That's awesome.
Um,
Oh, I love it. I love that, like the extra, like little detail splashes and stuff
Hmm.
like that. That to me is just what sets stuff apart.
thank
It's
you.
the little stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
There we go.
Like with lots of the Ronin stuff, everyone has managed, like you did, like an homage there to number 7. Um, so many people do the little Easter eggs and stuff in the background, and like you
Yeah,
would notice if you
Yeah,
were a
hardcore fan.
hardcore fan,
Yeah.
and like I said, just the small things that's what really pulls these pieces together.
Have you ever had a discussion like a fan will come up and start discussing something about your artwork and they'll have like a totally different take on it but makes sense and you just never thought of it that way? Like they've interpreted it a totally different way, but after they say it and explained it to you, you see it the way that they see it too?
no, not yet.
Oh, okay.
Not yet. I look forward to the day that that does happen. And hopefully, it's in a good way, at least, not a bad way. But
Yeah, that's kind of what I mean. Like, I've had guys like when we had the Winnipeg Con here back on Halloween weekend, we had Mike and Hugh up here and Casey Parsons and that we were watching helping them run their booth and stuff for autographs and watching them. Some people would come up and say something about their artwork. And the guys would think, oh, I never thought about that way, and it wasn't like an insulting way or anything like that. It's just like,
Their interpretation
yeah,
of it.
just a different interpretation. It's just like, I guess like anything, we're creative. That's bound to happen no matter what, right? And
yeah,
it was just really interesting that some people had something that really stood out more than others, and other people just like, oh, I just drew that in there just because it's background, right? So,
yeah. Sometimes, I mean, sometimes I like pieces that like yeah make you think. I'm not big on politics though.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not big like there are some comics out there that are cool like that. Like I'm like okay, cool. But when it comes to like making comics and stuff like that, I like to keep it like fun. Like I'm gotten really big into like the '90s comics again, like with Image and all that
yeah.
stuff.
yeah.
I don't know if it's because it's 30 years now, but I've been buying up all those old like Rob Liefeld Young Bloods and
Yeah.
Wildcats and all that stuff, and it just I think for me it just makes me go like, oh, I miss fun comics. Like I like
Well,
comics where like there's big splash pages and these characters. I mean, that's what I grew up with, obviously. So a lot of
that's
the
what
nostalgia.
Image was founded on too. Not
Yeah,
necessarily
yeah,
story, it was on art, right? So
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think
But
it was on Thursday was their 30th anniversary. I saw.
oh, was it Thursday? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, that's crazy.
Do you have a favorite ongoing series right now, or do you get much time to read stuff?
that's the funny thing. When you make comics, like you don't really get too much time to actually read comics. But
That's what
Hmm.
everybody says, and it doesn't surprise me, but at the same time, it's yeah, it does surprise me, but
Can't always have
well,
can't have your
and
cake.
again, you gotta
yeah,
step back, right? You gotta step back, or you burn out, right?
Yep.
So
yeah, because like too much will make you like just just burn out. But I try not to also because like I don't want to like subconsciously take an idea that I just read, and apply
okay,
that to my book
Right.
and then go, oh no, I just read that in issue, blah blah blah.
Hmm.
Um,
No, that's a good point.
but I mean, I think the only thing I'm really reading right now that's current is honestly Ronin, the last Ronin.
yeah,
Well,
um,
it's not too bad if that influenced the work then, if
yeah,
you're
no,
working
yeah,
on it.
and
that,
also with that one too, it's not too hard to keep up when they're like 2 or 3 months apart either. So
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
So
not like Spider-Man or Batman getting
eight
3 books
weeks
a
a week.
week
Yeah.
yeah, where you have to like go
and
back
the
and forth in
tie-ins
different
and
books and yeah, the tie-ins and continued in this one and continued now. I don't know if they still do that now.
oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah, for
that's
sure.
I go on rants every time we end up covering those. When we do our show, we do about
10 of
10,
12 books.
10, 12, sometimes 15 if it's a busy week. And we do maybe 2, 3 Marvel, 2, 3 DC,
We
and then
try
the rest is all
indie.
indie because we don't like the
Nice.
way they structure a lot of the big stuff like the AAA Marvel and DC. It's just we always talk. It's always crossovers and big, huge events, and
Yeah.
even though there's tons of people, their worlds feel so small because they're always interacting.
I was always a big fan of like when DC would had like the Elseworlds or
Yeah,
Oh
Vertigo.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I loved that stuff
Well,
because
that's why
Vertigo. I know.
their
Yeah,
Black Label is
yeah.
doing so well, right?
yeah,
So
the Black Label. I've heard that the Black Label is kind of like that, where
it
it's kind of
is.
bringing that idea back because
There's a
you
good
always
one
got
from
these
Black Label
cool.
right now. That's is it Batman Imposter? And
It's done now.
it's done now.
Yeah,
That one was really good, and I thought it was actually a tie-in to the new Batman movie. But
Really
it's
just
is it
similar
this
style. Yeah,
similar style? And I
yeah.
think they have the screenwriter actually working on it.
Oh yes, that's right for that one.
But
interesting.
yeah, that one's a really good one.
Oh, I meant to ask you before when you were talking about creators and writers that just come up with amazing different stuff, especially like horror themed and supernatural and that. Do you enjoy Tinian's work? Because he's put out so much different stuff in the last few years and is starting to create her own stuff. So, did you like his stuff, or do you get to read any of his stuff, or
Who is it again?
James Tinian the fourth there? He does like Something's Killing the Children and Department
Oh,
of Truth and Batman.
I will say yes. I read the first like I think 10 issues of Something's Killing the Children, and I thought
Hmm.
that was mind-blowingly brilliant. Like
Okay.
that's like the coolest book. And I think I've read like the first issue or two of Department of Truth, and I liked what I saw with that book.
Hmm.
Um, I know that one gets a lot of like variants. That one and I read a lot of the Ice Cream Man also.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ice Cream Man is good. And also the one he has through Black Label right now is Nice House on the Lake,
yeah.
and that one is truly
It's on a
twisted.
hiatus right now. It's coming back in a few weeks.
Yeah,
It's been done since November or something, I think.
yeah, they broke it up into two 6-part arcs.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah,
I have read those. I will say I've read those, but I'm nothing where I'm like I need to go like to the shop and make sure I have it.
sure. Yeah.
Um, like I said, like I read the first story arc for Maniac.
Oh yeah,
Just
that's one
kind
of
of
my
get a feel.
favorites.
Like when they asked me to do a cover, I was like, I have to read this book, and I was glad I did because it was awesome.
Hmm.
It felt like, and I think I had read something where the was it the writer said that he wanted to do like what would happen really if it was
Yeah,
Jason in New York.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like what if they Jason was New York and they just kind of gave up trying to get rid of him because they
Right.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So I thought that was really cool.
Became a force in nature.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I try to mainly lately I've been reading is like the Ghost Rider and Blaze
Yeah.
Spirits of Vengeance
Hmm.
series.
Yep.
Adam Kubert drew. That's like some of my favorite stuff right now, and just reading that kind of like the old Marvel Comics Presents, anything with Ghost Rider from the '90s. I'm
Yeah,
not too
we
keen
I've
on
been
this
reading
stuff
lots
from.
of '90s lately too. Like I used to never like omnibuses, and now we've been picking up quite a few of those lately too,
Yeah,
just because of that. So
Yeah,
like
it's impossible to find anything anywhere now. Even just random dollar bin back issues. It's
hmm
you'll never complete your runs to read stuff.
it's well, and the stuff I've been seeing on eBay, like they just want ridiculous money for, and I'm just
Yeah.
oh
like,
yeah,
come on.
Yeah,
I
it's
know that's
better
a
to spend the $100 on the 30, 40 issues that
right.
I'll have in an omnibus than spend 250 getting those same
Like
just
there's
raw.
a couple of key books that like of course I want to have for my collection, but yeah, like I really dig the trades and the omnibuses because I can just flip through it real quick and like I need this, I like that scene, or I
yeah.
like the poses, but
And I'm
uh,
sure for you being an artist, it's good for reference too.
oh yeah, yeah. And again, like going back to that is because of the nostalgic feeling of it. Like those books hold such a place in my heart.
Me too.
Um, I I literally keep this one on file. This is like one of my all-time
Oh
favorite
yeah,
issues, and the cover is beautiful. Like this is like a really rink-a-dink, messed up water. There's like water stains all over it.
It's well loved.
Yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, like that opening page, it's just
yeah,
beautiful. It's
that's pretty cool.
Adam Kubert, and um, like I still remember being like 7 or 8 reading this, and just being mind blown. Just like whoa, like
Yep,
this was like one of those books that just really did it for me. So I keep it on hand all the time as reference and inspiration, and
that's pretty cool.
I just love seeing that kind of stuff. Like there like the art nowadays is phenomenal in a lot of the books, but um, I just not really too keen on a lot of the recent Ghost Rider stuff. Like
Yeah.
nothing's really jumped out to me. Like
Well, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Nobody has a style.
yeah, yeah, it's just
They
like
all kind of blend together. Nobody has a particular style, and anybody who does have a particular style now kind of sticks to cover work. So
Yeah.
mhm.
unless it's creator owned. So
It's just like it's like that where they get in those stages, you know, and this happened in the '80s and the '90s and
sure.
the early 2000s, where it's just like the you know when it was the '80s, it was like John Byrne and people like that, and then the '90s it was or Terry Austin, and then
Hmm.
you know then you got Jim Lee came along with
Yeah.
all that stuff, and it
In
just
your
like that was the style.
McFarlanes and your Larsons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 But like to me, I was big on like Adam Kubert's work. Like here's some random books around the house. Like Mike Mignola doing this one. I
Yeah.
remember picking this up. It's like one shot of Wolverine. This was insane. This was awesome.
Well, I remember when I saw
Oh, yeah.
Mignola do
Yeah,
Gotham by
that's
Gaslight. Like
yeah,
that
that's a good one.
interpretation of Batman blew my mind too, because everybody always drew him like, the cartoony like, or like classic like, and to see him just so like, abstract and chunky was is just again, you never see that as a kid. So
Yeah, no, yeah, that's
yeah,
like it was a different world, and made that's what made it so awesome. Like I'm a huge Kelly Jones fan. Like
uh-huh.
Kelly Jones's Batman is like my all time favorite. I when I remember being a kid, like this scene right here from Mark Tixeria and Larry Hama, like this is insane. But like I think my parents bought me the Batman vs Dracula that Kelly Jones did,
Mm-hmm.
and I still have that exact copy. When I met Kelly Jones, like he kind of geeked out and thought it was really cool that I still had that copy and how much it meant to me. And we
Well, and that's something I was just thinking too. Is I love that you have all this stuff around you just on hand. Like it shows how passionate you are about comic books, and it's something that like really means something to you.
Yeah.
yeah, I and I don't tend to like try to look down on other artists, especially because there are a couple who you see them do cover work or you see them do stuff and they're fantastic artists and the covers they produce are beautiful, but
Hmm.
they know shit about what they're drawing. And I get
Yeah.
that there are times that you're gonna, be doing client work where, you're just hired to draw. Like I knew nothing about Maniac in New York, and I did that, but I
But
tried
you but,
to
but
read
you did
about it.
research it, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and research it and try to make it something cool and nostalgic and fun and neat and um,
And it's something for like your Ronin stuff, like deep fans.
yeah, yeah. Like I get that a lot where a lot of people tell me because like I said, I'm a huge Kevin Eastman fan, not just because of Turtles, but like his other stuff, like the Zombie Wars
Yeah.
and the
Yep.
Infectious and um, I can't even think of anything else
Well,
off the top of
well,
my head.
he owns and runs Heavy Metal magazine now too.
Yeah, like when I first met
Does he
Kevin
still own it?
Eastman, I think he's still a part of it, but I think he sold his rights
Oh,
to.
Yeah.
okay.
I think he sold his rights to. Don't hold me to that, but um, when I first met him, I've only been to San Diego Comic Con like one time, and it was in 2002. My buddy and I went right after high school. We graduated, and we were like, "Let's go to Comic Con. Like, it's a big show." And we went, and I met Kevin Eastman, and he had just put out his he called it like his autobiography of Ninja Turtle stuff,
Okay.
and it's just like a hardcover book of just tons and tons of like his pieces of turtle stuff. So that blew me away. Like I said, like high school Turtles was that's all I did was just read Turtles in high school.
Uh-huh.
And I bought that and like I got a picture with him and my eyes are just like wide open. Like I look like I'm a deer in headlights because if I was like, oh my God, I'm meeting Kevin Eastman. But
Well,
like
when
his
you
art
meet him
style is
again,
so insane.
when you meet him again next time, you have to reenact that picture again. And
I've
then
actually I've been there's a show here in Atlanta called Dragon Con and
Oh yeah, heard of that.
I do Dragon Con every year and one year he was like special guest and I know the guy that was the art director for the comic area and
hmm
he purposely put me next to him because he knew how much of a
Wow.
turtle fan I was. So I got to sit next to Eastman at the show. It was right when IDW had just started doing
Oh,
the turtles
that's cool.
and he was awesome like we talked and we he shared like people would when people were he was there only 2 days and he sat there and he just signed anything and everything. It was like he had just started getting back into doing comics again, I think. And he signed anything and everything they had. People would bring these giant stacks and he'd just sign it all. He'd be like, what's your favorite turtle? And then he just and
Oh
just ship
man,
it for free. Like this
I
was
was
back
paying
when
like $125 an
oh yeah,
issue last year to get
yeah.
sent in.
He was doing all this stuff for free. So that tells you
Oh
like
man.
right when he started back into comics and or at least turtles. And he if someone came up with something cool and rare, since he knew like I knew all this stuff, because like I remember Comics Journal put out this interview with him. This is about 20 years ago. And he just like lays it all out, like how he had Tundra, his company called Tundra,
Yeah.
where they lost all that money making comics and all that stuff. So I talked to him about all that stuff, and it was just really cool. And at the end of the show, it's actually on my wall here. Hold on. Ugh. He's like, "Oh, this is here you go. This is for being
Wow.
a good booth neighbor." And I was just like, I was literally trying not to cry
That's
because
amazing.
this is like
That's
the
pretty cool.
coolest thing. Like, I got him
Yeah,
to sign
I
all
don't
my
think I'd be able
comics.
to hold back tears. That's
Yeah, I got him
crazy.
to sign my comics, but him drawing, he's like, "Yeah, I just drew this for you," and I was like, "Oh my God, are you kidding me right now?"
Wow.
So this was like one of my prized possessions. Is this amazing? And it's all four on a cover. Like this is
If you
insane.
look really closely, there's one of Jason's tears right there by Leo's sword.
Yeah.
but uh, but yeah, I've met him several times after that, but I don't think he really remembers me. You
Well,
see so
yeah,
many
me too.
people all the
Yeah.
time. So
This is so awesome. We can keep talking all day, and I think you could too, because you seem to enjoy this. So why don't we try and have you back again another time? Because I think we could definitely fill another show if you don't mind doing it one time with us later on down the road.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm
Okay.
literally done with this piece.
I
So
kind of figured that. I've learned to time things up pretty good in watching you guys and that, so I've learned to kind of be on my hosting duties. So, uh, why don't you give everybody again your details for everybody can meet you, and we'll sign off, and then me and you and Ty will talk for a couple seconds once we're all done.
cool. Yeah, so
Okay,
Jason, I don't know if you could see it.
we can.
Yeah,
JasonFlowersArt.bigcartel.com.
perfect.
Yeah.
That's where you can find my comics. Mainly, it's just all my comics online. When I do conventions, that's really where you can find most of my art prints and my fan prints. But yeah, the website, jasonflowersart.bigcartel.com. That's where you can find all my books. Jason Flowers Art is my tag name for Facebook, my blog, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, TikTok. What else is out there now?
Maybe WhatsApp.
Not WhatsApp. What's not?
Or sorry, what's not?
What's
Yeah.
not? WhatsApp is something different.
Yeah, WhatsApp something.
If I start a what's not, it definitely will be. But yeah, that's where you can find me. I'm always making comics. Hopefully getting more turtle work in the future, and
and Bounty Bullfrog.
And I will definitely be making tons of Bounty Bullfrog, but just making art in general.
You got figures of that.
Yeah.
I haven't even read it yet, and I want the figures.
I know
that's like the collector's crutch.
They're
That's
fantastic.
so cool, dude. That is so cool.
My wife did a good job, and Matthew did an awesome job. Like him coming up with the idea of the magnet was just like mind blowing. I couldn't believe he did that, but yeah. It's cool. It's very, very awesome, very inspiring to tell me that like I have an idea, and I think people obviously are kind of liking it. So to keep going with it. But,
that sounds awesome.
Very grateful for everyone.
Again, thank you for so much coming on. It's been a blast. I've had it's felt like a date almost. Like it's been cool. So I do appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I've had a lot of coffee, so I apologize for how like blah, 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 I am. But
you're on par for us.
It's okay. You got that sketch done up there pretty quick. So the coffee, I'm sure, helped you.
Oh yeah, always gives a good kick.
Awesome.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, and everyone else, thanks for watching. This is what sounds like part one of many times we'll have Jason on the show, hopefully.
Awesome. Yeah.
So we'll see you guys all
next week.
Next week.
Peace out, guys.
Thanks, guys.